Bob Day of BlackBerry on navigating the FedRAMP approval process.
It is a challenge, but it has improved. I mean, I started the first one back in 2016, and that one did take a full almost 2 years, but we're starting from ground zero. And again, it becomes how much have you thought about this beforehand, and how much in your product do you have capabilities that meet those core FedRAMP requirements for access control, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you're starting from ground zero, yeah, it can be fairly tedious, especially if you're going to FedRAMP High or one of the DoD IL5s. But the FedRAMP Program Management Office, they've matured, and the industry have matured, that we understand this stuff more, and that we need to do it just even in our commercial products. That many of these controls are starting to be asked for by those, particularly in the regulated industries. And really what the key piece is, is to say, and a good example is FedRAMP Program Management Office just released Rev 5, and that's stepping it up even more. We just got finished looking at it for the first time. A lot of it's just format changes, but every time we do one of these, it's an investment of time and money for those who want to play in this game. But if you play in this game, you can take and translate these controls and these processes into your commercial products as well. And that's going to help you on that side, because they're starting to demand it. Those same types of control. Look at recent stuff out of the stock exchange and the new rules that they're playing there. So realistically, yes, it's a lift. It's gotten better over the last couple of years. But it's going to continue to be a challenge, because they're going to continually add controls as they need to, as the threats change and morph, as the technologies change and morph. I mean, just the implementation of containers and trying to deal with that. When we first scanned all the containers, immediately came up with 100 action items that needed to take care of. So, but it's a well worth it. If you're going to do business in the government, it's well worth it from an investment standpoint. And yes, I hear everybody say, the Air Force would like me to get my IL5 product done tomorrow, because they would use it tomorrow. But it's going to take me a while. It's going to take me a good 12 months, even with a product that's already FedRAMP moderate. And it does take some courage, and it does take some deep pockets. But generally, the payoff in general is going to be not only good for the government, but you're going to incorporate that into all the banks. They want us to do the same exact thing with our product.
Originally, the program was intended to be approved once, used many times. Is it your sense that they're still there? It's just that the evolution has required whatever the approval is to be different than it was in 2012 or 2013, and then and I guess it's attractive to companies like yours that banks want to use it, that other organizations outside of government want to use it. So it's an approval once, and it's not even just used many times in the government. It's used many times in the universe, it sounds like.
Perfect example is StateRAMP stood up a couple of years ago, and they're doing reciprocity, even though you still have to fill out some additional paperwork. But the guts of it are there. They take a look at our FedRAMP moderate, and then they approve it at StateRAMP. And Canada is following exactly almost the FedRAMP program, and so we're able to reuse much of that. And every country is starting to come up with their own FedRAMP type of regime. So it is. The other issue is that when you have an agency sponsor, even with other agencies, once you get your FedRAMP moderate, even other agencies, when they want to sign up, they're all a little bit different. They all have something more that they want to see. It's the typical thing in Washington. If you've seen one agency, you've seen one agency. And going through FedRAMP and dealing with FedRAMP with one agency, it changes up each and every time. But, again, you're still getting 90% of it knocked out just with your FedRAMP moderate or whatever authorization you have. And again, a customer is a customer. If they want something more, you give them something more. Some of them aren't so demanding. They just say, oh, it's FedRAMP, great. Others are like, let me see your SSP, and I'm going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb.